Now we are live. There we go.
Perfect.
So and you know what, dude? I got like 3 views from Twitch throughout that whole, and I know, Twitch is for video games. Do you have a Twitch account?
I
Well,
don't, just because I haven't really played video games in a while, just because I've been
with
busy training
headphones like
dogs.
that, I don't know, man. Those are video game headphones, aren't they?
Yeah, I've been playing like the last year I played I was playing on the PS 4 with my best friend's fiance. We were playing we were hella grinding on this one game.
What
And
game?
it was called Monster Hunter World, and it was very addicting, and I literally like bought these just to communicate with my friend.
That's a good friend.
Yep.
You're a good friend. Do you know what game I'm all about? What would you
Is
guess?
it PlayStation, Xbox game, or is
Yeah, yeah, it's on all platforms. Pretty
don't tell
popular
me
game.
don't tell me it's Call of Duty.
No, it's not Call of Duty. I'm not a COD dude. I went to the COD, the Call of Duty, and it's just too intense for me, man.
Mm-hmm.
I like to chill, and I like to, I do like first person shooters. I
Mm-hmm.
do like racing games. I'm not a huge fan of the role playing, but I'll do those as well. Probably Grand Theft Auto, but yeah. Any more guesses?
Mm, haven't played haven't played video games for a while, so I'm not with the times. So that was probably my only guess.
Fortnite.
Fortnite. Okay.
I love Fortnite, dude. I don't know what it is, man. I got like hundreds of characters that I've won, and like I do every season. I pay for them, and yeah, it's a guilty pleasure, but it's a good getaway, and yeah. So that being, a little fun fact. You why don't you tell everybody what you're all about? I just shared this to my personal page, and if you're watching this, you guys, why don't you go ahead and hit that share button, hit the like button. This is the first time I'm sharing to, or we're streaming live to Twitter. So if you're not following me on Twitter, please do so, and we're streaming live to YouTube as well. So please comment where you're watching this from, and if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, Bow Wow Bill on YouTube, please do so. And I have with me my friend Kevin. How are you, buddy?
Doing good. So, do you want me to start off with how I started dog training, or just like
Let's.
just
Well, what's the name of your business, and where are you located first and foremost?
oh, gotcha. So, yeah, I'm located in Northern California, Santa Rosa, and if people don't recognize that area, it's where Michael Ellis is. I live like 6 minutes from his school,
Speaking of
and
Michael Ellis, Joni just graduated, I believe, from the Michael Ellis program.
oh, sweet, congrats.
Yeah, and
Um,
I went to silver school with Joni. And hi, Joni, love ya. And she's done a live stream here as well. So check out her. And Nop, what's that?
I have no idea.
It's probably French. So
And
yeah, what's the name of your business? You're right by Michael Ellis.
yep, I'm in wine country just like him, and my business name is Canine Freedom, and I got my logo right here to rep. So,
And what does it say?
free dog is free you. That's my slogan.
I love it.
So, and I know you were asking like how I got that
Who
slogan or
was
what it.
she learned from Ivan? So somebody just finished. Did you just finish the Michael Ellis school, Joni? I thought you did, but I might be mistaken. It might be somebody else. Sorry if I am. But yeah, go ahead. Free dog is a free you.
Yeah, I kind of came up with it because I mean, for the most part, a lot of dog owners feel like they have to isolate their dogs, or they're really not giving their dogs much of a life because they don't know how to handle the dog's behavior, whether it's
Mm,
fear or reactivity or something of that sorts, right? So for me, I just want to be able to educate my clients on what their dog needs, and what are some things they can do to help with with the relationship, so then they can go out to give their dogs a fulfilling life. And I feel like just giving them that knowledge or that information just helps them, gives their dog bit like a lot more freedom, and they feel a lot better about having their dog, because everyone's these days just gets nervous about bringing out their dogs because of their behavior, or just what they could potentially do, and they never focus on their dog. Like right now, like in the present, everyone's either clinging on to the past or the future,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. And it's natural for us as human beings to do that,
yeah.
and some people do it way more than others. Actually, some people live in the past and live in the future without knowing they do. And I agree. People have, and by the way, Joni did not go. I was mistaken. I don't know who it was, but yeah. Do people go condole their dog? Yeah, I mean, is it boarding or training? That's what is it. Boarding train? You do board and train.
I used to do board and train, like when I first started off with my business. I got a little burnt out because I was taking a couple of the asshole dogs, and it was definitely not the right setup. But I mean, for the most part, with my business, I do a lot of private lessons. I teach group classes, and I guess I also specialize in the large field socials because I learned from Heather Beck and Jason Vasconi.
Excellent. Yeah, Jason Vasconi is going to be coming on here sometime. But how long have you been working with dogs, Kevin?
I would say professionally, I would say maybe like 5 or 6 years. Like when I was a kid, I grew up having like a Shih Tzu, like I had this little weird pack of a Shih Tzu, a Dachshund, a Corgi, and like this Husky Pit Bull mix during high school. Um, and I would volunteer like at my local animal rescue like every weekend. And then what first got me started was, I'm sure this is a lot of trainers, is I was watching Dog Whisperer with Cesar Millan, and I started going out a couple of live events to him because I was such a big fanatic. And my mom is the MVP. My mom is the one that either drove us to like the nearby events that he was at, or she would fly me to those events. And one day in 2013, during high school, my last year of high school, she paid for both me and her and my dog to go out to the training Caesar's Way.
Okay.
For that 1 week. And that's actually where I met Heather Beck. And the universe is really amazing at how it works, how it connects us to people at the time.
Yes.
And yeah, I got to hang out with Caesar. And then like a few years after that, like a year after that, I took like I went to my local community college, took like a year of some credits. And that's when I moved out from New Jersey, because I was originally from New Jersey. And I flew all the way out to Northern California because there was a college out here called Bergen University of Canine Studies. And that's where I was studying for my first 3 years in California, because you actually got a college degree in dog training. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I did my associate's year, I did assistance dog education. And then my last 2 years over there was business and pet dog training. So that's kind of where I got my feet wet when it comes to like professional training. It was just just learning how to train service dogs, also how to just being out there on my own, because I'm the only one out of New Jersey that left out of state. So, and that was also the time I was working at Petco for 3 years while I was studying.
You see here, Bergen, University of Bergen. Is that it? No, that's Norway. How do you spell Bergen?
Bergin.
Gin. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm going to check this out, man. Do you recommend it?
Like yes and no. Like yes, because it's like I like the vision of it, and actually Bonnie Bergen is is one of the big Hall of Famers in the IACP.
Okay.
She was the woman that started the whole concept of service dogs, and you know, I love the vision. You know, I had a great time over there. They like a year ago moved to a new site, to a new location, and so they got bigger facilities, bigger yards now, and yeah, I'm honestly I don't regret it because I met a couple of my best friends from there,
Awesome.
and it's actually my best friend and roommate that I went I went through all 3 years with, Carrie Faber. She and I went to silver school and gold school together. So
Cool, man.
she's definitely one. I'm glad I went because I wouldn't have met amazing people like her. Um, I would say like there's still a couple of things that they could work on, but overall, I think I had a good experience. I will say though, it focuses on a lot of like positive reinforcement. You know,
Right, right.
it was after that I graduated, and then that's when I went to IACP, and that's when I started learning like other ways. You know,
Yeah, yeah. I know Dr. Bonnie. I've met her. I can
yeah.
see her right here. She's great. She's great. Excellent. And then maybe I'll have her on here and chat. And a lot of times too, like just like dude, I started out purely positive,
Yeah.
and then I ran into a thing called competing motivators, right? And
Hmm.
and that's it, man. It's like I'm like, this is supposed to be different. This is supposed to be like, this is supposed to work. The dog is supposed to, listen to me with this, but they're not paying any mind to me, or they're getting manic crazy, right? Or there's lots of things that are happening. And so I think that, people call it a balanced approach, and I call it an eclectic approach,
Hmm.
right? Because when I hear, and I don't know, I mean, when I hear the word balanced, to me that it speaks to being unsteady, right? You're balancing, like, and to me, I want to be steady, and I want to understand, and I want to have this eclectic approach. Here, let me do this. Here we go. Eclectic approach. So I have, and I understand the purely positive. I understand the different punishments and why we use them and what they are exactly, and learn from different people. And I think that's crucial. And I think that it's also very good to go to these schools and learn, um, but to understand the why, especially when you run into a situation where it doesn't work. I think that that's very important. And for some of these dogs, and if you look, like, and like they're a certain breed, right? And there's certain the genetics of these service dogs and these working dogs that are kind of in that service dog realm. A lot of times they're labs and golden retrievers that are people pleasers. And as dog trainers, we don't necessarily get that all the time. And we run into outlier situations, and that's where that eclectic knowledge base is really comes in handy, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, you know what? Like, just from the collection of people that I learned from, I definitely don't regret it because because for me, like just watching some, like a bunch of episodes from Caesar, that's all I knew from just working with dogs. But then just going to Bergen, it was just like, learning, using markers like yes, and then just working on timing and just, just doing a lot of reward training, which was really good to start off. And then after that, that's when I went and shadowed Heather
Okay.
for like a whole week, just like a private shadow program. And it opened my eyes to a whole new world, when it's especially when it comes to like using, her sidekick leash now, and just, using the whole concept of leash pressure, and just the concept, just teaching how to have a calm dog. And it was good. It was like after that, and she would just give me pointers on how I would start my business, and just how I would do programs. And it was like after that I try to go back from New Jersey to California, because I had to drive most of my stuff from New Jersey, and I also had to bring my Malinois, who was staying with my parents for a whole year, to California.
Dude, your
And
parents are rad. I want to shout out. Your parents, really quick. Mom, what's your
Hmm.
mom's name?
My mom's name is Winnie Chin.
Winnie. What's your dad's name?
Jeff.
Jeff. Both of you guys, but especially Winnie, man, dude. There's nothing like moms, dude. Aren't they cool? So I just shout her out. I mean, like I met you at the ICP, and I just know that you're such a good dude. And so just good job, you guys. Good job, mom and dad, on this guy. So go ahead,
Thank you.
Kev.
I'm gonna tag my mom with this. Just be like, watch the like 15 minutes. You get a shout out. um, but yeah, like my mom had a family friend who had a breeding pair of Belgian Malinois, and they had puppies, and I kind of got one for my early graduation gift, and my parents had her for a whole year while I was finishing up college, so we drove cross state from New Jersey all the way to California within like 4 to 5 days, and I will say my mom did most of that driving, so that was, she definitely my mom's awesome. My mom deserves the best. I couldn't I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be where I am with the career or just having that strong of a passion if it wasn't for a big support like my mom. So
Well, and I just let Heather Beck know that we're chatting about her as well. So I want to shout out Heather Beck. I need to do another live stream with her one of these days. I've done one previously, and she's a friend that I consider a dear friend. And so shout out to Heather Beck. This one's for you, Heather. Yeah.
yeah, Heather's a badass. Like I love her. Like it could be midnight. I could message her something, and she messages me, and I would think she'd be asleep. With having two kids.
She's on her lunch break right now. Oh, cool, man.
So yeah,
Whoa, she's up at the Burton. She must be doing the Burton thing, dude. Here, I have to show you guys Heather right now. So I have to show you because she just sent me a picture of where she's out on her lunch break. And here it is. There she is out on her lunch break. So awesome. She's out snowboarding. She does this thing for Burton snowboards every year. And she's just an awesome person, man, and very well connected. And your network is your net worth. And so yeah, and I highly recommend learning from Heather as well. So, and do you as well, Kev?
oh, absolutely. Like I was just out there like last weekend, or I think 2 weekends ago, with her and Jason Vasconi teaching her new Teach Calm workshop, and
Teach calm.
it was
Love
a
it.
big turnout. It was like 75 people were out there, and I just love how she rephrased things, and it's how she changed some things up with the way she taught material, and then plus um, it was just the fact that we had some working Malinois out there too, and then we were using the sidekick leash. We were using like Heather's teaching calm, and because she brings up a good point where it's like
That's hilarious.
oh
Would you consider getting a Malinois as a gift of positive punishment or negative? Well, because you're adding something to the environment, that would be positive punishment. But yeah,
I'm like thinking what behavior would I get punished if I for getting the Malinois? Like I would think when I first got that puppy, I was like, oh, this is positive reinforcement, but then after having that dog go through like such a reactive phase, I was like, this is quite the. It's like maybe I was like thinking,
a
what was I
reactive
thinking?
Malinois, a reactive Malinois. You had one of those?
Yeah, given that this Malinois was like with her litter for in a backyard for a very long time in the middle of hot Malaysia, they didn't really
Oh
do
dang!
like they weren't like top of the line Malinois. This was kind of like hand me down kind of thing, but. And then even like I messaged Heather like, "Oh, Heather, I got a Malinois," and she's like, "Why?" And like,
Yeah.
and it's like for me, I thought I had it all handled. I
Oh
trained like,
yay! Look at who just stepped in.
oh, There's the best there's my favorite mentor.
Yep, there we go. Just dropping in before, or dropping in before I drop in. So she's out snowboarding with the Burton crew. So we love you, Heather. I sent you a message. Call me when you're back home. Let's catch up and let's do a live stream. I want to hear all about this teaching calm, because that's what I'm all about as well. So we love you, and you guys go check out Heather. Check out the live stream I've done with her, and Lifeline Canine in Salt Lake City is her gig. So yeah.
Yeah, Heather,
Awesome.
you're the best. Love you. And I'm gonna advertise more for you while I'm out here.
There you go.
But
so Bergen University, and then you scurried across the country, or did you went to Heather first and then you scurried across the country?
well, let's see. I think it was I graduated college and then I actually went to Maui for a week to celebrate with my parents, and then I went to Heather. So yeah, I went straight from Hawaii to Heather's place. Um, and it was really cool just watching her run the socials, watch her or a couple of her trainers do some wrap up, um, board and train wrap ups, and watching them do their training, do the walk classes.
Dude, she helped me so much with this board and train. Like, I was doing these live streams, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I just had this board and train, and the dog was like, "Pew." Like, I don't know you. I don't know everything that we've just worked on in the last month. And she just helped me, man. She was like, "Hey, look, that's perfectly normal,
Mm-hmm.
and that's perfectly acceptable, because the dog is thankful and excited." And so, she told me a totally different approach to do that I've adopted, and it's helped me. It's helped me. But I'm not really doing board and trains right now, anyways. So don't be calling me, please.
Yeah, no.
The people that want. But anyway.
Yeah, no, like just introducing the sidekick leash, like most of my clients are using that, and they're just getting really nice results, and either just not pulling on the leash, or just having a calmer dog in the environment, or just even just like dogs that are just so reactive, and then you recondition that, and it's such a big game changer. It's like I have people singing like praises about that leash when I'm out here, and it's like sometimes it's like I'll recognize the dog while driving by a neighborhood, seeing the client with the transitional, being like, "Did I work with you?" It's like, "Oh yeah, I did." So
Isn't that funny, man? Do you know what I did? And this is how I knew that I was A, getting older, and B, that I've been training dogs for a very long time, is that I'm playing with this golden retriever up here in the Puget Sound, and like playing fetch at this dog park that I was hired to work at. And I'm like, "Dude, this is an awesome dog." And they're like, "You should know, you trained him."
he's like, "You're like, wait, I did."
Yeah. I
That's
know.
so funny.
And you know what, dude? I didn't remember them. Like, it must have been a class or something, but I mean, and it's just we get a lot of dogs, and when we work with a lot of people, and I was like, awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have clients that say, "Oh, one of your previous clients referred me to you," or like, uh, Max's mom recommended me to you, and I'm like, "Which Max?" And I'm like, "Do you remember the breed?" It's like, "No." It's like, "Okay, I totally don't remember who referred you then." I want to like thank them or send them a quick text, but I'm like, "Wait, which one is this?"
Yep. Yep. Well, so it's good to keep track, and Heather will help everybody with that stuff too. Like, she's type A, she's very organized, and she has her ducks in a row, and she encourages other people.
Heather will kick your ass if you don't do what she suggests to you. Like literally, it's like I she yelled at me for not doing the seventh summit for her. Then that's like a big dog training business plan where you go work with her and some specialists to work on like three of seven things, either like hiring employees or how to advertise during your local area, or just have like an online program for your training. Just all that. Heather had that for going for like I think last year or a year or two, but then she yelled at me for not doing it. And I was like, I was busy, Heather. I had I had goats. I had Napo Po. I had to
which
deal
is
with.
which is a big endeavor in itself, you know. But it also goes to show you, you know, there's a lot of stuff out there, you guys, especially for new trainers. And
Hmm.
it's easy to get saturated and it's easy to get overwhelmed. And just like, you know, it's an industry that's ripe with burnout, just like what we were discussing earlier. And I know it, everybody knows it, especially when you've been in this, because it's an emotionally exhausting industry, but it's also, you need time and you need to have a separation and an ability to step away, um you know, not just to work on yourself but also to work in your on your business, and you know, to improve the results that you get, but also, you know, to stay out of that overwhelm, because that is a mountain of stress. And there are ways to do that, and there are people that play in helping other people learn how to do that, right? That are just,
Hmm.
that's the type of personality that they are. Um, where I'm super creative, like I'm very creative. I do stuff. I'm an artist, and we were just talking about our fish.
Hmm.
People that don't know, I have a lot of fish. I have angel fish that I breed, and my business. Do you know what it's called? What I'm going to call it, or what I have? It's Billy's Angels.
I love it. I was like trying to think hard what you would do as like maybe I was like thinking maybe you put the Bow Wow fishes or something like that, but Billy's
Murdoch,
Angel Murdoch.
Murdoch Fish Company, because I do have more than just angel fish, but the main aspect of it is my angel fish that I breed, and so I call that Billy's Angels. So if you guys want any angel fish, let me know. In America, only continuous United States, but I'll give you a good deal, and I have a live arrival guarantee. Little plug there for. Did I need to build a website? BillysAngels.com. I have it. And then you have the Celestial Pearl Danios, which are awesome little fish. They're little nano fish, and
Hmm.
live tank as well. And you have the tank downstairs with your mollies, and yeah, pretty cool, dude. Like, there's just, and I think that that's another avenue of expression too, and you know, taking care of animals, learning about the parameters that I was talking about is the same thing about learning how to take care of these dogs.
Hmm.
And if I put in a frickin', so if I didn't understand the parameters, which I didn't with these fish, right? And I put, so we call baby fish are called fry. And I had some blue acaras hatch, and the same day I had some angelfish hatch. They're both South American cichlids. I figured I'll put them in together and that they will grow up together. They hatch the same day. Well, I woke up one day and there was half as many fish in there, and the fish that were in there were twice the size. And so they ate the fish, right? And it was because of the situation that I was ignorant to. Like, I did not know that would happen, because I did not do my due diligence and investigation, and those are the consequences of those actions, right? And so you have to have a knowledge base to work with these animals, and especially like the certain species. I mean, they're the same species of animal with the dog, but we have different breeds and the different characteristics of each individual animal, right? And that's
Yep.
where, just like with these fish, right, where I am mostly angel fish, right, because I love them. They're chill, they're nice, um, they're middle and high. They hang out, and so they're, you can always look over and see what they're up to. Um, And so I have a preference, and same thing with the dogs. I have a preference. I have cattle dogs, and I have Schipperkes, and I have smaller dogs,
Yep.
right? But what people need to understand is that your choice of a dog comes with the prerequisite of a knowledge set, right? A knowledge base, that you can have a successful relationship with this animal, especially if that animal happens to be a frickin' Malinois.
Let me tell you now, like I feel like I was that kid that was supposed to get a goldfish for for starting off, and then you know what?
What's up, Corey?
I end up getting like a grouper or something like that, or just like
Ooh.
a giant Oscar of a dog, and it's just like I came in thinking, oh, I've trained like 10 or 12 golden retriever in labs. Some of them are reactive. I've got this. I've
I
worked with
think
clients at Petco, and then meanwhile I come home, I'm like, within the first month, I'm like, I don't know what to do.
I don't know
And
what the hell I'm doing. The Malinois will definitely poke some holes in your program, and not only that, but any trainer, like, I remember the very first Malinois that I met and worked with, and I was like, "Holy shit." Like, I was just so, like, this is a puppy on steroids, like, this is, like I remember looking at the dog, like, zonked out, and I went whistled, and the dog jumped up and ran to me before it was awake. And people that have
yep.
Malinois know that, you know? And I was just like, "I've never seen this. I've never seen a dog that is so driven." And then I was like, my knowledge set is lacking, right? And I don't know what to do. I don't know what I don't know. I've been presented with something that, um, is obviously a challenge because it's showing up as a very painful existence in my life, and I need to fix it.
Oh yeah. Well, I definitely worked my ass off. Like when we moved here, it was just me and her, and it was just a lot of just trying to figure out what worked. This is like bouncing ideas off other people other friends that were trainers, and then even just like I tell clients too, like when I always sympathize with other clients with reactive shepherds or reactive dogs, saying, listen, the shepherd you see that's in front of you, that's we're using
Mhm.
as a demo dog, as my demo dog, she's reacted to. Took me like a year and a half to finally get her to where she was, and I said, it takes time, it takes a lot of practice. And I tell clients she was the biggest pain in my ass for the first year or two that I had her, and then she matured, and we got enough experience, and we had a good bond, and that all slowly went away. But I definitely have a soft heart for those people that start off with reactive dogs, only because coming from firsthand, it was
Yeah.
like, okay, I totally understand where you're coming from. So
Yeah, a lot of trainers that I've spoken to, I've asked them, where they got the idea to become a trainer, and it was because of their own reactive dog, and they couldn't find the solutions, and they loved this animal, and they
hmm
wanted to live and find a peaceful coexistence, and they figured it out through, online learning or finding out the teachers and stuff that have worked with these animals before, and, and a lot of times it is about, structure and learning the 4 quadrants like they teach in Silver School, NAPOPO Silver School, go very thorough with that stuff, and not only understanding it, but understanding why it's important, and also understanding how to utilize it with that particular individual dog, right?
hmm
And so, um, and that's it, is like, and we're always learning too,
oh
I don't.
yeah. Yeah, like especially with like Napopo really just make things definitely clear with a lot of things. Like I like going to Bergen and like learning from like online learning, all that. The system was like it was vague for me, but when you get hammered with it like every day at Silver School, it was good because like it made it so clear, like just at the end of it.
Well, and the thing is, dude, is that I'm sitting there with Bart at the end, and I just took a second, I walked out to the back porch, and I'm just looking over at the property there in Missouri, and just kind of thankful that I'm done with that because it was very challenging, and, then we have a little barbecue and party and everything, and I'll always remember Bart coming up to me and standing beside me, and then him bringing to my attention that we just experienced Napopo by them hammering that stuff into us the way that they did, and by us, like, having that challenge of piecing it together, and then by us learning it, and I will always remember it, and I was just like, "Man," and just like you said, how succinctly you learned that, um, there's value to that because we've learned through experience, and not just the experience, but the experience that we're also going to be putting these animals through. And I think that's fair.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a really great experience. I loved it, and you know the information is just you know priceless. I would say, especially since he's not Bart and Michael aren't going to do the school like once they're done wrapping up with the other gold students. Granted, you know it's like during my spare time, I always try to just well I tried my best to just go back, look over the material that we wrote for notes, and then just like I want to make sure I'm a good representation of Napopo, even though I don't do board and trains, but still, you know, I want to try and practice Napopo with my dogs. And, you know, it's like anything else. If you're not practicing, if you're not just trying to work on it, you're definitely gonna get rusty, or the information's just gonna um fall fall off, you know.
Yeah.
Like just all that experience was really amazing just out there. Bart really was like messing with me at Gold School. Like literally, it was like I was eating, we were eating dinner, and
Bart
then
was messing with you? No, dude. No.
Bart was hilarious. I was like, wait, what is happening? Like I'm eating dinner, and then he walks by and he comes in with that his deep Belgian voice, like you eat like a chicken, and then he walks away, and I was like, wait, Bart, what do you mean? And then I asked him the next morning, Bart, you said I eat like a chicken. What did you mean by that? And then he goes off talking about like, Kevin, I think you were breastfed on your mom's left side. And I was like, what? I was like, excuse me? And I later on I called my mom to be like, just confirm, like, was I breastfed on that side? And she's like, yeah. I was like, wow, Bart is something. And then he nicknamed me Chicken George, I guess. And I had to look him up, and Chicken George was a chicken fighter. And I was like, Bart, what is this? So it was definitely a memorable. It was definitely a memorable school for me, only because I've never been called Chicken George. I've never been told I eat like a chicken, like
Chicken George. What the hell, dude?
and you know what? Like, I had such a hard time making contact with the chameleon with my dog because like I apparently had a lot of dead fur with my Malinois.
I'll make you comb it.
And Bart just yelled at me the whole time, brush, make sure it has contact. And maybe literally, I think like 40, I had to brush my dog for like maybe 45 minutes, and then he finally made contact. And then he made a shout out to me. Like it started off good. Like he was like saying, oh, this young man here doing Napopo, pushing buttons. And then at the last bit of it was like this man finally made contact with his dog with the e-collar after brushing for so long. And he was like saying, oh, it was not bed bugs that bit him. It is his dog, it's his dog that has the bugs. I'm like, wow. I was like, wow. I feel flattered, but I feel speechless at the same time. Like this man just and now every time I make a post, he always comments, make sure you brush your dog. And I'm like, he's literally constantly reminding me, so I literally can't say shit. Like I can't say I didn't brush my dog just because of him. So
yeah, that guy. Bart is one of my biggest mentors. Like man, he gave me so much shit. He gives me so much shit every day. Like when I talk to him or whatever, and like when I had some French people here that were down from Canada and they were checking out the property and stuff, and they're from Quebec, and so Bart speaks like 4 or 5 different languages, if not more, probably like 9. And so then he just starts speaking French to these guys, and they're in the dog world too, so they know who Bart Bellin is. And they're like, "Oh my god, is this Bart Bellin?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is freaking Bart Bellin." And then he comes back to me and he was like, "Do you know what I told them, Bill?" And I was like, "What?" He's like, "I told them that Bill doesn't know shit about dogs." And do you know what he said? The very first time I met him, dude, Bart Bella was talking at an ICP event, and dude, that's where I was like, I need to learn from this dude.
Mm-hmm.
I need to learn from this guy because, and the first thing that he says is, you know, a cat scratches, a dog bites, and a horse kicks.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And just like we were talking about with the fish, and fish eat fish. There's always bigger fish. There's always a bigger fish, right? They say. And so,
Yeah.
and it's brutal, but it's the
Yep.
truth.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, with him, with his, I think also what made it really a fun experience is also when he makes the side stories. Like I remember that one joke where he's like, he's in the plane with the two guys, and at the end he's like, we should stop spitting at each other and stop pissing in the Coke. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh my god, this
Dude, you're
is
killing me.
like this is so funny. Like just his jokes and all that. And then like I think one night when we were having drinks, and then he's like telling Michael to play all these like African tribe music or just like French music videos, and it was just like, okay, okay, no. And then even like my best friend now, she's playing it in her car when she like the same music that he showed us. I was like, okay,
It's got taste.
good taste. But yeah, it was definitely, yeah, I tell you, it was a really fun experience just learning just reinforcing e-collar stuff.
Go, baby.
I actually do have my wristband somewhere here.
Where's your wristband, dude? You should be rocking that.
Hold on.
Yeah, and look at that tank of Celestial Pearl Danios in the background there. I have a tank of angelfish. I have actually 2 tanks of angelfish.
Okay.
There's your Martin Systems one.
There's my chameleon one. So
the chameleon and Martin, and I got the Napopo Gold. So there we go. We're well rounded, and they will be doing the school, I believe. I need to have Bart maybe talk to him on a live stream if he's down, and talk about the future of Napopo and what's going to happen, and Bart and Michael if they're available. You know, to come on and chat, because I know a lot of people are interested in the future of Napopo, and I think that it's valuable myself.
Mhm.
Of course, I'm a graduate. You're a graduate. What do you think? You think it's valuable?
I think, you know, the big valuable things is just like, you know, just don't stick with one quadrant. But I also think, you know, being open-minded is really the big thing. And also just, you know, how, and I would love how Bart will say, you know, push the bloody buttons. It's like, you know, if you're going to the right people to learn about e-collar training, or, you know, just how to use equipment, like Bart literally is like, we go through it, we make sure like we go through all the equipment, and even just like that one time, even when they mess up all our e-collars and we have to figure out how to turn them off or reset them, you know. Yes. It was like, I literally feel like that was Squid Games in an e-collar fashion.
Dude, because do you know what he did to me?
I think I remembered, but you can definitely remind me.
Man, that freaking guy. I'm auditing, so I went there early. I went to while COVID happened, and they canceled all my flights and everything, dude. And so I went and rented a car, and I drove all my dogs across country, like 34 hours. And I'm just sitting there eating my sun chips, dude, and I'm thinking I'm auditing the freaking class, and then he's like, "Bill, you need to participate." And so I'm like, oh shit, I need to participate. And so I'm like looking around everybody, and I'm grabbing my collar and I'm just holding it. And then they're going around the room, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, and I'm like, stop. Yeah, I'm like, I'm connected to you, and I pointed to this girl. I can't even remember who it was, because I was just so surprised. I was like, what the hell? And then I was like, hit your button again. And then so she hits it, and then I go, yeah, it must be you. It must be you. I'm connected to you. and I look up at Bart, and he's crying in the front of the room. And I'm like, "Oh, it's you!"
Oh
And
my god.
I charged the room. I'm like, "Dude, I can't believe you did this, Bart." And he's just laughing. He can't stand it. And I'm like, "Bart," I was like, "Dude, what level did you have that at?" And he can't even catch his breath, and he's like, uh, uh, 8, no, he goes, 8, rising."
That's the worst. Oh my god. At
Oh
least it
my
wasn't, yeah, I mean, at least he didn't
I'll
start off
always
as a
remember.
9.
Dude, I always he's just such a good teacher, man, but just remember that, we put these dogs we teach them through by doing, and that's the teaching that he does too, you know? Here we go. Megan was there. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Megan remembers, dude. You think Megan remembers? I remember. I always remember just holding it. What I think it might have been Megan that was the one that I pointed to. Too. I don't know. I don't know. I just was all blur, you know. Um, maybe the removal of normalcy, the good life ability to move fluidly through your house would reduce your desire reoccurrence of getting a melon. Why?
You know what? I've had this dog for 5 years now. Now I couldn't ask for a better dog. I tell
5 and
you.
6. That's my favorite age, dude.
Yeah.
That's my favorite time, and that's Ash is 6 years old right now, and Yaya is 5, so yep.
Yeah, no, I know like all the struggle, all the learning, I couldn't, now she's mellowed out. I couldn't ask for a better dog. And,
It's
she's,
worth it. It's worth the work, man. It's worth the management, you know? So the comment was for the thread of because they're talking about positive punishment to give somebody a Malinois as a gift, and so they're just continuing that conversation. It's all good, Billy. And Billy, really quick shout out. Billy is one of my Patreon subscribers. And we do a 2-hour Zoom call that's interactive for my Patreon subscribers, my $20 level subscribers. And Billy, let us know in the comments if you enjoyed that. But I thought it was super valuable. And it's just another way to get a deeper understanding. And last month it was Brian Agnew. This month I'm working on getting, a couple people maybe, but I'm definitely locking down somebody very exciting. It's going to be worth it. But I'm going to make sure to make it well worth the investment of $20 a month just in that 2-hour, $10 an hour learning experience that you can bring and interact live with me and whatever expert I bring on. And there might be some surprises, some surprise gift giveaways, some product giveaways. And so check me out on patreon.com bowwowbills. Then I'll put a link down below in the comments if I remember. I'm like 2 days later, I'm like, shit, I need to put my Patreon. And thank you, all my subscribers on Patreon. I love and appreciate you all. This is something that I want to start to be able to do full time, but I want to be able to have the budget where I can fly down to Northern California and see what Kevin's all about, and bring maybe somebody to videotape it and to edit it and put it all together, and that costs some money. And so those that are already subscribers, thank you. And if you like what I do, then please consider subscribing. But it's not a requirement whatsoever. I'm just thankful that all of you are here, and I'm thankful for you, Kevin. And so now what you went to the university, you went to Heather, and then did you go to Napopo, or did anything between Heather and?
there was a couple, like one, it was like it was definitely, going to the 3 IACP conferences, 2017,
That's where I
2018.
met you, dude. I'll always remember meeting you. And I love meeting people that are hungry and new trainers, and because they're the future, and as we get older and we kind of pass the torch, it's cool because we all have a way of presenting this information, right? That's unique, even though we might learn from the same teachers. And so I remember meeting you at the IACP conference.
Yeah, it was just, and I always describe it as a big Comic-Con for dog trainers. Like it was a really fun time. And like I just had somebody that I met, I don't remember meeting at the IACP, like my
Here we
first
go.
one at
Oh,
Heather's workshop.
oh,
And
here
she
I
was
want.
like
It's opposite on the screen, dude. Like I want to point to him, but it's opposite. You point this way. Sorry. So go ahead, so
uh
Heather.
yeah, so like I met someone at Heather's workshop that I met at the IACP conference my first year. And she was like telling me like, Kevin, when I first met you, you were such a nervous kid, and then you started going up to all these big names. You're going up to all these people, like you're this happy-go-lucky golden, and then,
I
you
remember
know,
you
and
coming up to me too, and I was just like, dude, what's up, man? Nice to meet you, bro. Like, absolutely. Like, and I mean, and you were, I just saw like, I see a lot in you. You have potential, you have optimism, you're a go-getter, but you're a people person, and you just kind of see that opportunity. And I think that you seize it based on your own intrinsic desires. And dude, I'm all about that for people. In fact, I'm working on a project called Surrender to Your Passion on the back end here.
mhm.
And a lot of times I have to tell people, like, when I say surrender, it has nothing to do with surrender to be controlled by somebody else. It's like surrender into the control that is already present within you, like the things that you already know and desire. And once you surrender into that, then you see these synchronicities show up in the universe. And,
Mhm.
and that's what, like, I see you doing, like these little glimmers or these little teachers that show up. And the key is that when they show up, nothing happens unless you act on it. Right. And so we can't just think that stuff's going to show up and magically we're going to change. We have to learn to act and listen to these synchronicities. And I call it like a wink, like that. But some of them are so profound. They're like synchro. I call it synchro mystic. And you get this feeling of like, oh man, like just like what I said with Bart, I need to learn from this guy. Like there's just something happening. And I'm sure there was some synchronicities. But the first time I met him, I walked up and he goes, you need to shave. You look like shit. And then he grabs my beard and he's like, you need to shave. You look like shit. And he like throws my beard. And it was like way before it was this long. It was like, it looked like shit, dude. It was all
Oh
over
my
the freaking
god.
place. And I just died, dude. I started laughing and it was immediately, I knew I freaking loved this guy. And I knew he's special, man. Bart Bellin is a special dude. And I love and appreciate that guy so much. So
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate, just starting off as a professional dog trainer, my first year, like starting my business, working with clients the first time. It was like ICP conference was such a big community. It was great meeting like great people like you, great meeting other people like Heather and like all the other people that I met, like Jason Cohen, Jeff Scarpino, um, over there. Just being able to branch out like that was really a good experience. Just especially it's like you pay a few hundred just to have all these speakers come in one place, all the vendors, and it's just a great experience. It's just a great reunion for me. And um, yeah, just like anybody, like any new trainers wanting this, like one of the big steps or what I recommend for new trainers is like just go to workshops, go to conferences. If anything, go to conference first, and then you can see who you want to learn from. Like after that, especially when they have like events like world workshops where everyone's gonna have like brochures, information on what they're gonna teach, or like
yeah.
just workshops that you can go out there like after conference that you'll be interested in. You can get their info and or even sign up for the next workshop. So
Well,
it's
see
definitely.
who you gel with, but also see who has a dog that you love. Cindy
Yep.
Duan. Do you know Cindy Duan from Georgia Dog Gym? with
Oh,
the collie, Cindy, you know?
oh yeah, like Cindy. You know what? She was maybe the one out of two people that knew that remembered Bonnie Bergen. And when I went there,
She's OG, Cindy's OG, dude. She's been, and I've done an interview with Cindy as well. I need to have her on there. But go ahead. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
oh no, you're fine. Literally, it was like I'm just this one California boy by myself walking around. IACP just like so overwhelmed by everything, and I'm just trying to say hi. And then I talked to her, and Cindy just came up to me like just this very bright person, and just this like she came up to me like just like hi, how are you? And it was like she just asked me where I'm from, where I live from. I was like, oh, I live from Bonnie Bergen, and she's like, oh, I love Bonnie, and I was like, oh my god, finally someone that recognizes her, because I thought Bonnie, just like thinking I'm big shit, like after graduating from there. And I go here, I'm like, oh, what a small world. What a big pond I am in right now. Like, I have no idea where I'm at.
It is a big world. The dog training world is a big world, and that's what people need to understand. Not only is it a big world, but it's a big world with a lot of niches. And I encourage people to go into those niches, right? And to go into, if you like working dogs, niche it out, man. And in fact, you guys, after I do my little dog thing here, and it's going to be a few years, but I'm thinking about getting into the working dog realm myself because I want to produce a champion dog. I just want to go through that experience in that avenue of learning and knowledge through experience is the best way to gain a deeper level of understanding, in my opinion.
I agree. I feel like I want to do that as well. Because right now it's like between my one-eyed Brindle Chihuahua, my Pitbull Dachshund mix here, and my 6-year-old Mal, like when they get old, when their time is up, I definitely want to play around with that. But I also just want to get like an easier dog. Like I want to get like, a nice, good temperament lab, a
Get a
good temperament
poodle.
dog that is just like a dog that I can go, oh, okay, cool. I don't have to worry about this. I don't have
Push
to worry
button
about this.
dog.
I don't need a dog. I don't need the low threshold, uh, short fuse dog that I was like, cool. I can just be like, have a good temperament dog, not do much, train and have fun, and then just come out into the world, just relax. And then I might have like a nice drive dog, just I can play tug with, because I love learning from J Jack, and J Jack is another.
Dude,
I
he's my boy. I love J Jack, dude. That guy is highly recommend learning from him. He's another. I mean, I've never been to one of his. The only thing that I've been to his was after hours kind of thing that we did at the ICP, right?
Mhm.
Dude is phenomenal. So is Chad Mackin, in my opinion, right? They're just knowledge base, and we all have something to learn from each other, and we all have something to teach each other, in my opinion. And that's where like that's why I do these live streams, with people and just chat like we chat, like we're at the freaking conference, like we would sit and do this. So going back, I asked Billy, who's one of my Patreon subscribers. At the $20 level, you get a monthly 2-hour Zoom meeting with me and an expert. And oh shoot, I think I need to go to Facebook to read the rest of this comment. So please hold. But this is what she says. And basically, man, it was great. And when you can bring, kind of like your own question to your own situation and get it answered in a way that we can kind of thin slice that situation as well, and then get down to the nitty gritty, then it helps tremendously. And then we can follow up with you. Did that answer your question? And and not only that, but if there's an expert that you're interested in knowing, I will announce who I'm bringing on every month. And so if you see somebody, then come on and join us at the $20 level on Patreon. And Billy says the Zoom meeting with you, Brian, and all the other subscribers was phenomenal. The Q&A, case study discussions, problem solving, and feedback from all participants was so inspiring. Bill, I really appreciate the opportunity to interact and learn from the community you're building. The knowledge that's being exchanged through your interviews and discussions is really assisting me in finding mentors and people that I enjoy learning from. This industry is flooded with negativity and egos, and it really surprises me, or excuse me, it really suppresses creativity, and we lose trainers that can really make an impact on human canine relationships. And I agree fully, man. And we have to know there's personality disorders in this world, man. And there's people that they're not just shysters in the dog industry, but they're predators. And to know about them is, I mean, to know that they exist is huge, and to know about, the one thing that they don't want is to be found out, right? And so it is my goal to bring about people that I know and have met and have vetted myself, and that's the important thing about going to these conferences is that you can reach out and shake hands and hug and meet people, but there's a lot of psychic energy that's exchanged there, but we also belong to a network of people. And there's been a couple shiesty people within that IACP that have gotten booted out because of the shit that they've done and said, right? And so we're able to rouse a lot easier when we belong to a community that cooperates. And the IACP isn't perfect, but it's just a good way that we come together for cooperation, and that's my goal here. To build this community. And so join me on Patreon, you guys. I'm getting more and more subscribers every month, and I'm so thankful. And we're just going to keep on going here. And
I will say, Bill, I would definitely want to give you a shout out of my own, just because it's like I got inspired from watching your interviews with the other trainers. That's when I did that whole stream of live Facebook lives with those other dog trainers, just because like with COVID, it was like I didn't have much to do. I was just stuck at home.
I stopped doing them too for a couple of years during COVID. I was just kind of getting back to myself, so you kind of filled that gap too, man.
Yeah, that was really fun. It was like just talking about like different topics, and I end up like I put it on YouTube, and I'll copy paste. I'll send a link to a client that's struggling with reactivity, or I'll copy a link like a dog that needs recall training. Like, okay, watch this video, and it's just like it's like if people need reminding or a refresher, it's like here, watch this video, listen to it. It goes over what we talked about and a little bit more, and clients appreciate it, and I appreciate it. It's just like a nice review for them. So like every time I think about the interviews you do, I'm like, this is where I learned from. This is how I started.
Awesome, dude. That makes me, because it's inspiration to other people to act, right? And to make the world a better place by, kind of, I don't know, asking the questions and just like putting things in a way that you put it, right? And I encourage other people, man, interview people, create content, do stuff, get out there, and know that if you're not embarrassed by your first episodes and you waited way too long, like it's a point, it's a point of vulnerability, but it's also like, just do it, man. Like, get it out there, and even if you make mistakes, even there's some episodes that I can't watch because I'm like and I'm like counting them on my fingers.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, Jiminy Christmas. But that's how you break that. Is by consciously listening to it and making yourself aware. And so something that's subconscious pattern becomes a conscious awareness that you can evoke some change upon.
Yeah, and it was a good experience, just because it's like I hate my voice. I hate the sound of my recording voice, and it's like between just all that and just getting the neck with it, talk to all these people, just have a nice conversation with while we educate the public on their dogs. It was just a nice resource to have. And I will say, with Bart, another two things that I learned from him is just It's oh,
What the
there.
heck is that, dude? You got a robot there or something?
Oh, I turned on Siri by accident on my iPhone, so that
Hmm.
was um one thing with Bart is like dream, dare, do was a big one, and if you do try to say he definitely gives you shit about it. That's why he's always just like, instead of saying just have a moment of silence, just drag it out and then get your thoughts instead of because you know how Bart is just.
Dude, you know what? We have, listen to this. We could put music on this. It's a new feature that they just did for StreamYard. Just FYI, man.
Oh, that's good to know.
Just so you know. I had to use the new feature. I'm paying for it, so I want to use everything.
Right, might as well.
I was going to put on a banner, so let me do that. That's not it. Edit. Click the banner to show on screen. So dream, dare, do. Save, show. There we go. That's what Bart says, and that's one of the concepts of Napopo.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to you, Kevin?
For me, dream, dare, do is like if there's something that ignites you, you get that ignition to do something. Don't be afraid to don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to do it. You know, you're gonna fail. You might mess up, but you're gonna learn from those things, and you're just gonna come back better. You know, more knowledgeable, and there's always gonna be a little bit of struggle with some things, and once you go past those struggles, you get more experience, and there you are. You're doing what you want to do, and like for me with the whole dog training, like with the whole Napopo thing, I'm pretty sure it all started with just like learning from Jay Jack, and then Jay Jack connected me to Canine Paradigm, and then Paradigm connected with Pat Stewart, and it all linked, you know, with the whole universe. Like I was thinking the whole amount, just how expensive it was for Napopo. I thought it was like, I don't have that kind of money, but you know, I just said to myself, I'm just gonna put cash to the side, and I just kept putting cash to the side. Next thing you know, I had most of the amount I needed for the school, and I was like, okay, there we go. You know,
that happens.
yeah. So, like for me, with just dog training, you know, with workshops, when I'm set on something, I just do it. Like dream, dare, do. I do that for all my big stuff. Like with all like there's places I want to go travel to, you know, I have putting cash on the side for that, so I'm making it happen slowly. It's definitely one of those things where, like Bart says, I gotta push the bloody button. I gotta push the click button to confirm stuff. So
yeah, well, and that's 3 parts too, right? The dream, right? And then I break that into a couple different things, man. I break that into, dude, have an impossible dream. Have something that's impossible that we're always striving for, but then also have achievable dreams that you can celebrate as you achieve them, and realize that as we dream, once we start to take that action, we make that dream a reality on this plane of existence, this 3D world that we live in. Excuse me as I burp. Like, look around the room that you're in. Now look around the room that I'm in. Besides these plants, and these fish, I mean, there's nothing in this room, including the room itself, that didn't start as a thought first, right? As a dream, if you will. And then the action, the daring, takes sometimes for people to understand that there is what we call a comfort zone that we build in our brain, and the dogs build it in their brain as well. It's a biological process that keeps our bodies safe from being in danger, right? Because once we're delving out of this comfort zone, then our body is automatically flooded with doubts, fears, anxieties. You know, the amygdala and it's like a pharmaceutical company, and it just floods that body. And so we have to be aware, of that, and the processes that happen as we learn, and that we might delve out of that comfort zone, and to feel the fear, like to feel those doubts, fears, anxieties, but to do the action anyway, to dare to do it anyway. That is the definition of courage: to feel the fear, but to do the action anyway. And then on the other side of that, we have the strength that lies within overcoming that challenge. And then we become somebody different. And we have to process who that person is, and realize that with great gifts comes great responsibility too. And in my opinion, that's where we share the knowledge, but we walk the walk first, right? And so that's the do, is the walking the walk. So we got dream, dare, do, and I think that's pretty rad, dude.
Yeah, man. I mean, like for me, I always just want to keep learning. I always just try to find a new trainer to go learn from every year.
Can I join the live stream? I wish. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at the picture. It's a troll. It's like a dog's wiener. Okay. Yeah, Kevin, do you work out or something? That's what he says. I'm not going to show the picture, but that's what I was telling him earlier, dude. I was going to go shirtless since Kevin came on with the muscle shirt on. So we might, we still might go there, just FYI. But and then speaking of Pat Stewart, he's going to be coming on Sunday, you guys. Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which I think is like 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. Australian time. So we'll have Pat here, and you guys, Jackie's commenting from YouTube. If you guys wouldn't mind stopping over to YouTube and subscribing to the Bow Wow Build channel. And we got a troll here too. So you got to love the trolls as well, man. Not really, but I mean, they're part of life, dude.
Yep. I mean, it's the same thing as dogs. You're going to run into some Chihuahuas, some Goldens, It's just
Ash is a troll, dude. My dog Ash, come here. He just woke up too, but you guys got to see the troll dog. But yeah, like the trolls are part of it. It's not what happens, but how we respond to them, And like I'm sure, like if we knew the troll's real name, that they wouldn't be responding the way that they are. But sometimes they do that as well. So
right,
the variety is the spice of life. So I'm going to post up while we're chatting here. I got a link to my Patreon, and I'll post that up in the comments down below. And cool, because then when I post it up in the comments, it goes everywhere, and I don't have to go to each individual. So I posted up the Patreon. You guys come on down to Patreon. Subscribe, $20 a month. I promise you won't regret it. Dude, if you guys regret it, if you don't get value, let me know. And we'll work it out, man. That if you want to go and you want your money back, then I'll give you your money back, dude. That's how freaking, yeah. So money back guarantee. There you go. Not like a 2-year. Like if you don't like it in the first month or two, then that's what but don't be coming to me like 2 years later. Whatever. I don't know. We'll talk even then if you come to me 2 years later. So we'll find out what it is that you want your money back for. I'm usually a big proponent on refunds, dude. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely had my time where I was on Patreon and I subscribed, and then like some other platforms, but
no, I'm talking about in general. Like if somebody's not happy with your service as a dog trainer. Zoltan. Zoltan's looking for somebody in Ontario, right, Zoltan? So Zoltan is a new and upcoming dog trainer and dog walker, Ontario, Canada. Do we know anybody in Ontario, Canada, Kev? Does it come to your mind?
I think I just met a couple from there when I was at Heather's place. I can probably.
Yeah, we'll find out for you, Zoltan. We'll find out. Zoltan reached out to me, and Zoltan's another Patreon subscriber as well. and thank you very much for your subscription. Cool. Jackie's been enjoying your channel, watching a ton of past interviews. I have over 100 and I believe 25 interviews with dog trainers all around the world. And most of them are over an hour long and some of them are over 2 hours long. A lot of knowledge, and I like it because it's just a casual conversation that people can kind of leave on in the background. And just like you said, is sometimes we just need to hear stuff again. Repetition is the mother of learning. And so we can hear it from our teacher, and then we're washing dishes, and then we just heard it from the YouTube, and then we're walking, we just heard it from another podcast, and now we got it. Now we know it like we can teach it, and that's how I know something. Like, know it like you can teach it to somebody else. And so that's cool. Let's see. I feel like we met trainers at Clubhouse in Ontario. Yeah, there are some. Oh, isn't I think Joni is. Joni up here. Joni Dion. So up in the comments, Joni Dion, I believe she's on Ontario. I'll put you guys together. I'll introduce you on Messenger. Or if I'm not even on Facebook. We'll figure it out, dude. So we'll get you taken care of.
We'll get that done somehow,
But I'm all about cooperation, man. I'm all about networking and finding out who's true, who's honest, and who's a good person, who you gel with. As I got burps, this Kool-Aid's giving me the burps. And who you want to learn from, right? And so don't be shy. Get out there, just like Kevin when he came walking up to me. He'd be a go-getter, man. Seize the opportunity. And know, like, the question or the answer is always a no, unless you ask. And a lot of people are shy, and a lot of people don't ask, and they let opportunities slip by them, where they need to speak up and just ask. And a lot of times, like, even like if I get a fee on something, I don't know if it's a bill or something, whatever, I always ask, can that be waived? Because the answer is always no, unless you ask, right? In the gun dog world, I've seen some cool crossover info. Just joined your Patreon. Jackie just joined my Patreon.
Nice.
Thank you, guys. Like, I seriously, every time I get a little Patreon subscriber, like, oh man, the little boy in me just goes nuts, like a little freaking party. So just know that every month, not just subscribers, but every time I get paid, or it's just something that is an idea that we're manifesting, just like we were talking about with the Dream Dare Do. I have a dream, and I'm starting to dare, and so I can't wait till we're really doing it, and with your help, we'll get there. Thank you, Jackie.
No, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, I kind of lost my train of thought with it. Oh, just reaching out to people, just asking the questions. Like, it all comes from me, from like a personal standpoint. Like, for me, there's this one girl that I saw in high school, but I never asked her out. I never talked to her. Then I regretted that. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to start being more extroverted, talk a little bit more. But then even like in high school, if I didn't know something or if I had a question, I go to my teachers, like, after class. I always ask for extra help, or I'll just ask all the detailed questions. I was the shy kid that didn't want to ask the question in front of the other students, just because I thought it wasn't a good question or something. But if I don't know something, I'll always try to ask people.
Well, that's different, I think, because knowledge is kind of a different thing, right? But if you don't know something, and I've also told people, like, the best substitute for knowledge when you don't know it is silence, right? But if there's something that you want, right, and there's something, like, especially like there's this love or this thing that happens, especially with women, or and then opportunities comes up where you have and it's not just with women, with men or whatever, whatever, you have an opportunity to talk with them or something, the universe puts it in and then it goes away because you freeze up, because we have the fight or flight, freeze and fawn responses, right? And it's a wild thing, dude. And that's what's so cool about learning dog behavior and working with animals, is that behavior is across the board fascinating to me, right? But sees those opportunities, and when you see these interviews with people that are on their deathbeds, the only thing that they have is they wish they just have some regrets, right?
Hmm. Well,
And so
I feel like with your interviews, I feel like with some of my interviews, it's like there's not enough like good content like that like going around, because it's like when most people go on YouTube, they're looking, the first things when you see dog trainers is like like Zach George or
mm,
some examples, right? So is definitely just like content like this, like talk, like when you have heart to heart conversations like this with from one professional to another, it's that real authenticity. I think it's really important.
well,
And
it's like when we were on Clubhouse too, dude, and we talked to people, doctors and everybody, um, that were in the dog industry, and there was a golden age in that Clubhouse. All right, but you can find out really quickly who's knowledgeable about something, who's passionate about something. I think in a steady like flow of consciousness, like in the moment. And a lot of times when we see trainers or just in the social media world, a lot of content is really curated, and we don't see the edits and everything that has been done to it. In fact, we're just showing up here. I don't edit these one bit,
mhm.
right? They just go live stream and then they get posted. I don't want to edit anything. What a pain in the butt. But we don't know. Some people love that editing and stuff. They put the filters on and it's just like you don't know. And so I think the soul resounds with authenticity. I think the soul resounds with truth. And not only that, the soul, but our us as human beings, like we can pick up on when people are being deceptive, by watching their body language as they talk about a subject, or to use the words that might be catch all or very vague or right. And yeah, so that's why I wanted to do these too, is just to honestly, it was selfish, dude. The reason why I do these is so I learn. Like I wanted to learn, and do you know what? I learned more. I guarantee you, I've learned more. And I've been worked with dogs. I've had my business here in Seattle since '07, right? And so I've worked with thousands of dogs, and I've learned more from these freaking live streams, just talking with people, and that's the beautiful thing about having an eclectic knowledge base is there's no finish line here. As soon as you're decided and you're like, dude, that's all I need to know. I know it all.
Yeah.
Then you're dead in the water. You're gonna wait for a Malinois to come by.
I don't know. Like, I'm probably gonna take a nice year hiatus or something where it's just like I might not have dogs. Just enjoy like the fact, oh, I don't have to pay for dog food. I don't need to pay for someone to board my dogs. It's like I can go on
Lot of
vacation
commitment.
without worrying about without a dog at home. It's like cool. And then after that, I'll go hard with. I'll get my pack again. But I definitely want to. It's like sending your kids. It's like when the kids finally move out. It's like okay, cool. I can do whatever without any commitment. So
Well, I think you're wise, dude. Like, I think there's some stuff that, like, I definitely would recommend doing that and taking a break and just kind of like, and not only that, but my goal is I'm going to be bringing people from outside of the dog industry and talking to them because I want to talk to people that just, and I like it when people come in from an outside industry to the dog world, um, and just to see what their eyes and what they see, and also we can fill in with the gaps of how things might be with certain particular um, clientele and particular dogs that we've seen in our observations. And speaking of which, what are some of your observations as a dog trainer? And if you had a magic wand, is there anything that you would change about the industry?
that
That's a
was
pretty big question, I know.
it's a deep question indeed. Just especially like me being only like 5 years into it versus like other more experienced, like 10+ year trainers. And there I go with the again. Bart's gonna yell at me. So
Damn you,
the, like a
Chicken
couple
George.
Chicken George. I'm never gonna forget that. Uh, uh big thing. I mean, a couple of observations is just yeah, it's like how you said before. Some trainers are very have big egos that is very like or closed-minded that if I could use a wand, if I could use a magic wand to change something with the industry is like I would love to see more trainers just be open-minded about like branching out to learn how to use a tool like even if you don't want to use a e-collar for a client or something like that, like at least I want you to just understand how you can use the tool, how to appropriately use it. And so like this you can say, okay, this is how you would use it. And if you have a preference on not using a tool, that's fine. At least get educated on it, you know? And then it's just the whole ego thing where it's just like, oh, this is the one way. I don't need to learn other ways to work with dogs. It's kind of just like, man, you're just closing yourself off to a small room when there's a whole world that you could work with. There's so many ways to work with dogs that it's like you might not use this one method until you meet that one special dog that it actually worked, and then you go, holy shit, this worked.
Yeah,
And
and not only that, but it was the missing link.
yeah, like for me, dog training is like a puzzle. Like Napopo was a big puzzle piece.
Right.
Heather's was another puzzle piece,
I
and
like that.
I'm just putting together this big puzzle of me as a dog trainer. You know, putting all these pieces because every valid information is like another puzzle piece that I just add in, and you know, it just helps me grow. And like I love being so open minded in the fact like I'll go like I've subscribed to like you know trainers like Grisha Stewart or
Absolutely.
like other things just to add on to my knowledge. Like even Michael Shikashio, like I want to go take his master course like in a few
Did you see the
months.
live stream I just did with him?
Yeah,
Great guy.
yeah.
Great guy.
So it's just like you know when when I hear trainers, I get trainers that just go, you know, oh, this is my way or the highway. I go, man, you know, you're missing out on a
Mhm.
lot of you're missing out on a lot of real cool info.
Pivotal moment as a parent. My kid asked last night to go to a dog training seminar. Signed her up. Going to Jay Jack's Play as the Way. Discovered Jay from your live years ago. Tell him that, dude. Tell Jay that he discovered me. You discovered him from my live stream. Make sure you tell everybody that, like that, because I want them. You know, I want to reward them for being vulnerable and coming on and chatting with me, and just like being a good friend too. You know, and just being trusting me and you know, I'm so fortunate that I have the network of friends that I do. And man, COVID was really hard on me, and I'm glad I'm doing these live streams again, but I can't wait to go to the conference, or you know, and to just kick it with everybody and just like see them. And so good job, Mom. And yeah, I hope that you guys have a wonderful time at Jay Jack's seminar. And yeah, let him know. Are you going to take that, Roddy? I did a Zoom call with her personally, and I do one-on-one Zoom calls. You guys, $100 an hour. They're usually 150, but if you tell me that you know from, if you sign up on my website, it's going to be $150. But if you tell me that you know from this live stream, then I'll charge you $100. And it can be for dog business owners, or if you're having problems with your dog, then I can help. But I also like it when people send videos. So start capturing videos of the behavior that you want help with, and also capture videos of you interacting with your dog, and you know, that just everything just helps me get a better picture, so I can make some suggestions on how to go forward. So, do you do Zooms or anything? Have you been doing those since COVID?
You know, it's I try to offer that for clients. It just never came to fruition. And
Dude,
like even
I didn't know, but dude, I had like it was just it must have been in like necessity is the mother of invention or something, because I just like during COVID I had some people that were just having these COVID problems with their dogs or their puppies, and I just started doing them really successfully, and so just keep it up, dude. Like it's just another way to connect and you know, add value to the services that you provide. So FYI.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely just had
Okay.
more people like just wanting me to come over during that COVID time. I was like, "You want to do a FaceTime session, Zoom?" It's like, "No, we need someone to come over here." I was like, "Okay." That's like, I guess I'm still going. So I guess I'm going in a mask. Here I go.
There I go. And even that with the dogs doesn't help either. Billy's taking her Roddy, and I'm curious to see like Jay. I think you're gonna have a breakthrough with the Roddy with Jay, because he does really well with these powerful breeds. And then I love the aspect of a play as the way, where it's also like Ivan Balbanov. He does the play, like the play training. And just think, man, if we can get into the play aspect of fun, motivation, this is great. Um, it's a good thing, as long as we have structure that we can also shut it off as well. And especially with some of these dogs like Malinois, it's actually more important to have the shut off than it is to have the fire up, because they're already kind of fired up.
Oh yeah, like Jay is such a big. Like I love. That's why I've been to like 3 of his workshops, and his it's been so fun just learning from that. I brought my Mal out there to do a working spot with him, and it was like you think you know it all, but then he'll always throw something in, and the way he says things in his way, it makes you go thinking like, huh, I didn't think of it that way. And I was like, this guy's really cool. And I've had dinner with him. Like I invited him out for dinner, like because we were in the same hotel at Heather when he was doing a workshop at Heather's place. I bought him wings. Apparently food wins his heart. I was like, cool. And I visited him I went to Maine one time and I visited him at his place and I bought donuts.
J Jack, only do positive motivation with J Jack, positive reinforcement with treats, ladies and gentlemen, with J Jack. No alpha rolls with J Jack.
Oh no, you don't alpha roll him. He alpha rolls you and you initiated it.
Dude, he told me like his dad like grabbed this guy's beard and beat the hell out of him, like grabbing his beard, like beating. And I was just like, okay, I'm taking like 3 steps back from him. I'm like making sure I'm out of arm's range from him, dude. I love Jay Jack, man. He's one of my favorite people on the face of this earth, and he's been through a pretty tumultuous childhood. Like when you start to listen to some of the stories that he's been through, it's pretty mind blowing to see the caliber of character that he has become today. Jackie says, really enjoying some of the stuff I'm seeing in the sport dog world, not 100% how to transfer to my competitive gun dogs. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be all about the drive. I mean, harnessing the drive and motivation, and you know, but how do you tailor it to your gun dogs? And that's, I think you just got to noodle it, you know. Noodle it and just see what you have. Especially, I tell people, sleep on stuff, man. Like, have an idea like before you go to bed, and sometimes I'll even write it down, and the first thing that comes to mind when you wake up, sometimes you got it, sometimes it might need to float to the surface, so you just sit there and wait. But what comes to mind usually is very helpful on how to structure stuff or answers in one way or another. I know I'm a little hippy dippy. That's what somebody told me.
Yeah, but we love you for that, Bill. You know, that's
what I am, man. I love it. And yeah, so who knows if it's real or not. But well, man, what do you think? What are you up to today? Are you gonna go and work your dogs, or are you
right now I think I'm probably gonna cook up some lunch because I always eat late lunch because I'm either working with dogs or just doing other stuff. And then I got 2 clients later today, and then after that I'm probably gonna play a child game called Yu-Gi-Oh because I'm a nerd when I'm not a dog trainer.
A Yu-Gi-Oh?
Hmm.
What's Yu-Gi-Oh?
It's a whole big trading card game. It's I
You
don't
like
know why.
Pokemon?
I do like Pokemon, but I am a very rusty with it because Pokemon just
I have no
every year
clue
comes
what
up with
anything is.
because Pokemon literally just like this is they just had like their 10th series of games and it's just ridiculous, man. I can't keep up with the times.
So, Bomberman? What's that? Bomberman? Oh no. I'm trying to find out what Yu-Gi-Oh is.
Oh, hold on.
How do you spell it?
I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it to the
Okay.
private. Just
Oh,
that's how you.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Oh, did he die? The creator die?
He passed away yesterday.
Dang, bro. God bless him, man. And then the prime minister of Japan was just assassinated too. That was crazy by a homemade gun, dude. That's nuts. The world is
Mhm.
crazy, man. Yeah, the creator found at sea. Wild, dude. But Yu-Gi-Oh. So I've seen these. I've
Mhm.
seen these. It's like Magic the Gathering
Yep.
or something like that. Cool. I have a friend of mine that's like so deep in the Magic the Gathering. Like he goes and has like his cards like rated and stuff. Like there's like counterfeit cards and
I play this game. I play that game too. So I
do you ever incorporate it with your dog training? Like put a card on the dog's head and be like, I cast a spell on you.
no
Dude, maybe you should
no.
try it, bro. I don't know. I mean, if it works, I get 40%. I'm just saying royalties.
Of course, of course. You know, I'm gonna tag you, and then when that happens, we'll make a whole revenue system for you just to
I
get
love
the
that.
percentage.
I love that, man. And speaking of revenue system, look at I got this ticker banner, patreon.com/Bow Wow Bills. And then how do people get a hold of you? Whoops.
Let's see. I can type my website. I can type my website real quick through here.
Through the private chat here.
Yeah, probably just like
Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, then I'll copy it and then I'll post it up. And then anything else that we didn't talk about that you want to say? Or, I mean, this has been pretty cool.
Yeah, so I mean, for the most
Canine
part,
food.
I know for the most part, you were like trying to ask like what like my experience as just starting off as a new trainer and like things to suggest. I would say if you're a new trainer, definitely be open minded, find your niche, go to conferences. You're gonna find amazing people like Bill and other friends that you're just gonna mend because in this kind of industry, you need a good community to just bounce ideas with. Don't have your head full of ego. That's never good. Have a little bit of ego, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Um, and yeah, just be open minded with tools. Go to like if there's a big workshop, big school like NAPOPO that you really want to go to, you dream. You're gonna dare yourself to get the money, do all that, and find yourself a good mentor. Like mentors are the best. Like I have such like between Heather and Bart and other people, like they're gonna help you go because they struggle to go through all the other stuff. Like and they're gonna teach you just how not to struggle. You know, this is how they're gonna start you off at the ground up. You know, so it's yeah, I think those are my big tidbits just for any new trainers out there. Just go out, learn, and dream, and then dare and do.
Yeah. Well, and Bart and Michael have a program that they like. I remember sitting there and I was like, dude, if I did this when I was a new trainer, oh man, my understanding and everything would have been so much greater. And so I definitely recommend it. But yeah, man. And then you guys down below k9freedom.com. I put up Kevin's website there. People don't know that Kevin, the LI actually stands for lightning.
Oh my god.
Well,
We're-
we're gonna do psychedelics or something, right? It did feature the psychedelic mushrooms or something. That's what we were talking about earlier.
I was telling you too, you know, like if you wanted to have like that fireman calendar for
Oh yeah, that's right.
instead of firemen, it'd be dog trainers that would look good shirtless or something. It's like first one has to be Pat Stewart, you know.
Yeah, Pat Stewart's gonna have the cover.
Pat Stewart's gonna have the cover, like he's gonna go from his
Well,
tuxedo and then rip
there's
it
a
off.
guy, Good Boy, in New York too. Like Good Boy
Oh,
Industries.
Brent.
Brent, yeah, he's got to be on there.
Oh God, yeah.
He's so dreamy.
And
So
then you're gonna add me too after with all the mushrooms, like and the pink dress.
Yeah,
and the
we're gonna give him some psychedelics and then do a photo shoot. That's what I was telling
oh
Kevin.
my
And he would have a lightning bolt painted across his whatever, dude. This is what we're talking about before the live stream. So with that being said, hire Kevin to work with your dog. That might even bring more people, but so yeah, caninefreedom.com, patreon.com/bowwowbills. See me on Patreon. And yeah, man, you're awesome, dude. Love you and keep doing what you do, dude.
You know, appreciate the time. You know, always happy to be on here and always good talking to you, man. And I'm excited to see you in person in conference.
Yeah, I don't know 100% of them going this year, but I'm going to try my best, and who knows. And everybody else, share this right now, like it, go subscribe to my YouTube channel, comment down below, smash the like button. I guess it helps the algorithms or the gods, the technological gods. And then go play some Yogi. Hold on one second here.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh. go play some Yu-Gi-Oh tonight, and if you need any help, then check out Kevin. He'll be definitely there to help you. But yeah, bro. So say goodbye to everybody, and then you and I will say goodbye here in the studio. So bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us.